Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm at nearly 6,000 tech points. It was a tough road, lasting less than an hour, and I spent most of that time sipping Snapple and listening to Lady Gaga's Born This Way album, or the playlist I made out of it. The order isn't exactly the same. And by a tough road, I mean that on occasion, Idowu would get on top of Kaya or vice versa, right on top. They have this whole table that they can share, but occasionally they'd be right on top of each other, and I'd wonder what it was they were researching. The berry bush is actually not looking that bad. It's at 221. And this guy's made a lot of progress. Look at him. He's almost as good at research now as he was at building. Meanwhile, Kaya still has a bit left until she becomes a master scientist. They kind of run on the Pokemon system. You know, the further along you are, the more experience it takes to get to the next level, or notch, as I call these little bits. They're like a millimeter big or so. So here's what I'm thinking. Instead of just go ahead and cashing them in right now, I'll see how far I can get. You know, who knows, maybe I'll be able to make it to the 12,000 after all. So, I'll mess around with these guys, who are apparently messing around with each other, after a few more hours, and then see how things look then. So, I hope everyone's okay. Take care. Okay, folks, there is one other new development I want to show you. I made some progress, and Kaya here is now a master scientist, which means that there's something new I can do. If you drag a villager to this building over here, let's try you. What it's gonna say is that they think that this building could be converted. And it says only a master scientist knows what to do here. But now that we have a master scientist, and look at that, she is founding a school. I don't see why it takes a genius to do that, but I mean, it looks just the same as before, except with a drum. But it counts as one of Isola's puzzles. So, we now have 5 of them. And I think she's done enough research for one lifetime. Look at this, she's worked so hard that she's now considered weakened. She is less than the ideal level of health, so I'm gonna switch her over to healing, but before I teach her some healing skill, I'm gonna have her eat. And since we're gonna have a new doctor, I'm gonna switch this woman over to research. Maybe pretty soon I'll bring her back over to healing, but while we're training her, let's get this woman to eat. If you do this enough time, it'll say that the villager feels better after eating. And after enough times of the villager feeling better after eating, she'll start to recover her health. With all the... yeah, see? But won't actually show, just... well... Actually, I think it might have. Maybe it didn't. But... it's gonna take a while before it actually shows, and we've got a lot of damage to fix. But it'll be worth it. This might actually improve her overall lifespan if we have her keep eating. It'll do more than just undoing the damage from all that research. It'll also help her out and gain a longer lifespan. Of course, she keeps wanting to research since I haven't trained her in medicine yet. But I will pretty soon. And hopefully by then this woman can take her place. So, I'll see you soon if I have any more developments. Take care. We should soon have enough to be able to finally buy science, which will really speed up our tech point earning process. A certain someone has been trying to interrupt every now and then and get in on the action. As you can see, she's already an adept doctor, but she still wants to go back down there and research. The berry bush, meanwhile, is not looking good. But we will soon be able to earn tech points fast enough to find an alternative. Also, I like seeing these two go through each other. Sometimes if they both happen to be walking to the same place, sometimes one will go through the other. Alright. I think that's the first time we ever had to actually buy something. But it should be worth it. Look at that. There's now this potted plant thingy on the table. Wasn't there before. Sign of progress. Just watch and see how many more tech points these guys are gonna get now. Of course, you don't know how many they were getting before, but it was going pretty quick. I think only about an hour passed since my last update. What other things about the game can I tell you? Do you know that some villagers are actually popular? Occasionally villagers will be doing, well, eventually, not right now when they don't have a lot of food, but eventually they're going to be doing options like talking to each other, their actions, I'm sorry. They're going to be running over and telling stories or jokes, maybe even arguing or complaining. But they usually do it to the same person over and over again. That'd be the most popular villager, as I like to call them. Unless it is the most popular villager, in which case he or she will be talking to the second most popular villager. This order of popularity also affects breeding. If you leave someone with any breeding experience on breeding... Ladies and gentlemen, this is a food advisory warning. The berry bush is nearly depleted. We know because it has 150 or less berries. That is when you get this message. We are now begging you to make sure that you research alternative sources of food. Please have your top scientists blah 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 blah. Yeah, it does not look good, but I'm not worried. At this rate, my villagers are going to get a lot more tech points. So what I was saying is, let's say this woman, she has a little bit of breeding experience. If I were to put her on breeding, she would run to the most popular male, and then nurse her baby for a while, and then run back to him again. But if it was a man, an adult man, I'm sorry, with breeding experience, if he had just a little bit and I left him on breeding, he would go to the most popular female, and then immediately to the second most popular female. But I think that's all the interesting stuff that's gonna happen tonight. I leave you, however, with this. You can actually tap this little drum, and it's gonna signal to the village children to go to school. Yep. They stand there in front of it. After a while, this message goes away and they run off and do whatever. It hasn't actually improved their farming any. Or this guy's healing. But who knows, maybe it just takes a while.